It is not guns that is causing the issue in Chicago.
Now, let's just update this on Trump and Chicago, because the Governor Pritzker, remember, this is a national story for a whole bunch of reasons. Governor Pritzker wants to position himself as a Democrat presidential candidate. Trump and Pritzker are exchanging words in the media. Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, very much a man of the left. He is going after Donald Trump aggressively on this issue. Here's what Trump says about it. This was just yesterday after we got off air. This is cut 4. Play it.
Make your mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe.
Trump says he's going in, Clay. Going into Chicago. We don't know when, but he says it's happening, so I take him at his word. What do you make of it?
I think it's the right move, and I think this speaks to Trump's intuitive political gifts to not only do what's correct, but also to do things that substantial majorities of Americans agree with. And we'll talk, I imagine, for the next several months about this, because the fall story so far, and I know we just officially have got past Labor Day, and all of you out there that are calendar aficionados who want to say the first official day of fall is not till September 21st. Okay. I think the number one story of the fall is going to be Trump waging war on violent crime. And I think that is a phenomenal battleground for Trump to decide to focus on. We said economy, border, crime. I think you're with me that the economy is starting to fire on all cylinders. And that by the time we get through into next year and the full impact of the tax cuts and the accounting changes and all the other aspects, interest rates coming down starting in September, there's going to be some jet fuel poured into this economic situation. We're going to be going really well. Borders completely shut down. And Buck, they really haven't been able to turn deportations into a real major issue. I think they made a poor decision to use Kilmar Abreu Garcia as the front-facing guy. The other part is crime. And I think the data from D.C. is going to increasingly show something that all of you know to be true, which is when you deploy more people to try to stop crime, crime goes down. I mean, this is not a revolutionary idea. There's a big article in the Wall Street Journal editorial page I was reading this morning. It said, hey, we know how to stop crime. It's to put more police on the streets. You had a great tweet, which I think is 100% right. The number of body cams. I think this kid going to the Chick-fil-A is a great example of it. We see it through the purview of the officer on his body cam. They are showing you that the vast, vast majority of police officers every day are phenomenal at their jobs. And most of what they have to deal with is actually people being jerks to them, not them being jerks to people. And so I think you are seeing the police force, which for most of American life, we have tended to have a positive view of. Starting around 2020, the idea was suddenly you couldn't have Paw Patrol, have a police character. Cops got taken off the air. I think it's worth remembering where we were. We have now cycled back to where we spent most of our time, which is most cops, the vast, vast majority, do a phenomenal job making us safer. We should have more of them, not less of them. We should let them do their jobs, and we should support them. Not that they're perfect. They are going to be imperfect because they are human, but by and large, they are every single day putting their lives on the line to make us all safer. And I think that's where the nation is. That's where Trump is, and all that's moving in a very positive direction.
And he said we're going in. On the other hand of this, you have Mayor Brandon Johnson, and what he wants to talk about is that red states have a violence problem. He wants to make this national and explicitly partisan. This is cut 8. Here is one of the worst mayors in the country, perhaps the worst mayor, tough. There's stiff competition. But here he is, cut 8. Play
The
it.
vast majority of guns do not come from Chicago. They are not made in Cook County. They are not bought in the state of Illinois. These guns come from red states. They are coming from Indiana. They are coming from Mississippi. They are coming from Louisiana. And that is the harsh reality, whether Republicans like it or not. Occupying our city will do nothing to solve this problem. No matter how much work we do or how hard we work, none of it will ever be enough until the president decides to end the mass trafficking of guns in our city. For every gun that the Chicago Police Department fights to get off the streets, 2 or 3 more new guns come into our city. Chicago will continue to have a violence problem as long as red states continue to have a gun problem.
This is a total deflection. It's a frivolous argument. It's absurd. And it just shows you, Clay, that we're not in a two sides arguing about how to get to the same goal situation. We're in a Trump is saying, let's do something that is almost certain to work and perhaps work substantially. I think it would work substantially. And on the other side, you have somebody who says, let's just talk about some alternate reality where there aren't a few 100 million guns already in circulation in this country, and criminals will find a way to get them illegally or legally, one way or another.
I live in a red state. I live in one of the reddest counties in the country. Buck, you have been to my neighborhood. I bet the average home in my neighborhood has more guns than, by far, most homes and communities in America.
I might be rookie numbers with my guns here compared to what you got going up there in Franklin County. That's fair.
In Williamson County, Franklin, Tennessee. Do you know what the violent crime rate is here, Buck? Basically 0. So I don't want to hear the argument, oh, red states have too many guns and that's causing crimes. Crimes are caused by people who commit violent crimes. Sometimes they use weapons, yes. But the idea, gun ownership has skyrocketed since 2020 in America. There are tons of you out there right now listening to us who may not have been gun people. And when you saw the riots happening and you saw people unable to drive through communities, a lot of you got guns. But I went to Vanderbilt Law School, as many of you know. There are a lot of girls from my class, girls that you would never think are carrying guns that live in red states and in their cute little purses on their way into work every day. They are carrying handguns in their purses all over red states. The number of guns has skyrocketed. Crime has actually started to go down now that we let police officers do their job. So there's more guns on the street, lower crime. And look, I really think people like Brandon Johnson should have to really be held their feet to the fire on these awful arguments that they're making, because it is not guns that is causing the issue in Chicago. There are tons of people all over Southern Illinois listening to us right now who have entire gun safes on their property. Violent crime rate very low in rural Illinois by and large. It is people who are criminals committing crimes. The way to get criminals to not commit crimes is to put them behind bars. It's not to claim that red state guns are causing crime in Chicago. These arguments are getting embarrassing, frankly,
well, it's
for
also,
anybody with a brain.
What's more likely, a focus, if you're the mayor of a city, in this case, the city of Chicago, what's more likely? You're going to find a way to address a problem in your city, or you're going to wait for the rest of the nation to fundamentally change, including changing the United States Constitution, and then also alter the society you live in a massive way. I mean, you've got, I don't even, the latest numbers, probably 80 to 100 million people who have firearms in this country. So the idea is what? He says, stop the illegal flow of guns. If it's illegal to buy the gun, we already have laws and say, don't do it. But people who want to shoot people because they want to sell drugs on the south or west side of Chicago don't care what the law says about guns. And all that it does is make it impossible for people like you and me and your friends from Vanderbilt Law School to lawfully enjoy our Second Amendment rights, to defend ourselves, and also to be a check on tyranny, which I will have this argument with anybody. After what we saw from the lib authoritarian Democrats during COVID, I have never been more set on the need for as many good American citizens as possible to keep and bear arms. I mean, I was
Yeah.
already pro 2A, but now I'm like, I think everybody should have at least a firearm that they know how to use in their home. It's a good thing.
Laura Travis is going to have an absolute arsenal, Buck. You're going to be impressed. We're building a house. I think she could overthrow some countries with the amount of weapons that she's going to.
I have no doubt.
She is ordering for the house.
I have no doubt. Speaking of being able to defend yourself, we're talking about firearms, but also non-lethal is critical because in so many cases, that's what the situation calls for. And also there are some people who are more comfortable. My wife is one of them, more comfortable with non-lethal self-defense, like pepper spray, for example, or pepper gel or pepper spray launchers. This is where Sabre comes in. Sabre is best in class when you look at these products, and they're the number one trusted brand for pepper spray by law enforcement. They have safeguarded thousands, hundreds of thousands of people over the years. Sabre's been in business for 50 years, family-owned and operated company. Clay and I know the CEO. They have great products. They're great people, and they just want to make sure that you have a way to defend yourself with the best non-lethals available. So I know a lot of you got your 2A collection. You're good to go, but some of you should probably stock up on a lot of you should stock up on some of your non-lethal options here. Go to saberradio.com and you'll save 15% on that website today. When you can also get a mega bundle with extra projectiles, magazines, and practice targets for that pepper launcher. Again, Sabre Radio, SABRE, saberradio.com, or call 844